I didn't grow up with someone that looked like me, the size of me, or my sexual orientation on screen. I knew that eventually me being me was going to help someone else.
I don't want to just be seen as queer. I don't want to just be seen as disabled or Gen Z or any of the other things that I represent, but really being able to have somebody say, that's Brandon. He's awesome for who he is.
One, when you can see someone who you think that may be so different from you for whatever reason, whether that's physical, whether that's geographical, whatever. But when you hear the truth and you hear the story, you're like, oh, they're just like me. Oh, that's my child.
Gatekeeping is always really difficult within marginalized communities because it always feels like everyone's fighting towards a goal to seek better understanding and vision for the group. But then you have people that are like, oh no, we're more important than you guys and you have to wait your turn. And if we all realize that if we don't all exist at the table, then we won't have a table to exist at.
Our responsibility towards, the community is putting the positive images out there, letting people know that we're a normal family just like anybody else.
I make it a thing to let people know, like, I'm a Black Latino. Representation is important because I didn't have it. I didn't have a gay Black Latino. I can be like, oh my God, like, this is cool. And then growing up, I was so quiet and so timid. I didn't really know, like, where to look or who to ask.
Just walking into spaces where I'm the only one that looks like me. You get combated with a lot of different things, but my main approach with it has always to just stick to what I know and stick to who I am.
We still have a very, very long way to go for a API representation. All the gay scene is like Disneyland, but I still feel like, do I belong there?
I think for a long time people thought a one-size-fits-all rainbow encapsulated everything LGBT, and the truth is there is a lot of segregation.
There's all these other open boxes, or there's all this space for visibility that never gets full. So we're perpetuating this idea that masculinity and femininity and queerness should look a particular way, when in reality, that's not what it is.
They may be completely different and have their own unique vision of themselves that may not be acceptable to some people now, but I think having more and more of these stories told opens a door for those types of people.
There's either the invincible or the invisible in queer life, especially growing up. You've got invincible and you've got invisible. And the problem for me anyway is I was so large growing up, there was no way I was going to be invisible. You know what I mean? So you got to pick a side, baby. So I chose invincible.
As someone who identifies as being queer, it's really important to be self-reflective. Work starts at home. I think that's really important to love from within and let the outpouring of that really reach and touch other people.
When trans people started coming forward and saying, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being, economically in despair compared to my gay brothers, and where cis white gay men have this hierarchy within our community and everybody goes down tier.
And there are a lot of issues with this exclusiveness of pride and trying to make people feel better than or less than, if that makes sense. When I talk to these kids and meet these kids and amplify their stories and photograph them and show them to other youth, it shows them that they have community all over the place. A lot of people only focus on places like LA or New York City, or you see the queer community in these places and it's like you want to escape. It's the saying, it gets better. But with Project Contrast, I want to show these kids that you don't have to wait till it gets better. You can find community now. You can find people around you that will accept you, and just know that there are people out there that love you.
Every single element of what we consider to be pride has been borrowed from the Black Freedom Movement, and they photocopy, almost literally, the language, the tactics of the Black Freedom Movement, of people like Byron Rustin, Ernestine Eppinger, and they apply it to our own movement, and you see it all the way through.
When you're a little queer kid, you study life. You realize that most people don't act or love like you do, and you're constantly looking for your version of love and you're not really finding it anywhere. But then you find it in a special place, and I found it when I was watching Glee or like listening to Lady Gaga, and it's like, oh, I feel accepted, and you get this like beautiful holistic view of life.
Especially when, imagine these kids are not having the best time with their family or their friends because of themselves or because of who they represent. People don't like it. And then them taking videos of these dancers on stage who travel across the world, and then they get to show their family, see, someone like me exists, They're in that music video, or like they're on that stage, and they're performing for millions of people.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have that many gays on TV. I think it was like the Skipper and Gilligan. They shared a hut.